Hi y'all, Jeff here from Jeff's Cars and Garage, and welcome back to another video. And this is the after effect of what I call our snow-mageddon that we had last Wednesday. Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday, March 22nd, and on Wednesday prior we had here in northeast Nebraska, kind of the whole eastern part of Nebraska, we had a very bad blizzard, and it's there are still today people without power in several counties. Primarily, from what I've heard, the county I live in, out in the county, and then in Dodge County, and some places inside of Fremont, Nebraska, and a few other places in and around. Eastern Nebraska. Uh, it was a very powerful storm. Some areas had winds of excess of 80 miles an hour. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those who still don't have power, and hope that they're doing well and coping with what they have. But so on this video. The day before, I think it was Tuesday, the day before the Snowmageddon, tried to start the car, didn't start, and what I ended up doing, a couple videos ago on this car, I actually replaced the fuel pressure regulator. And I got to thinking, now that we put on the new fuel pump, the one that has the current specs that the car actually needed, I thought car wouldn't start. So, and then as you saw in the video that I was undoing the fuel lines, and there was pressure to it but no pressure past it. And so what I did is I went to my toolbox and my parts shelf, and I found two of them. One, I don't know if it came from this car or another car, or if I bought it earlier, but I went and put it on, and I did start the car that night, and it started right up. Now, it's still, and it didn't have a hard start issue, by the way. It still had trouble revving up, but not as bad as what it was in the previous videos. So now that we've gotten through Snowmageddon, and temperatures today are supposed to be 50, and I thought, well, I'm going to get out here and let's make a video, and I'll start the car. But before I do that, I'm actually going to show you some of the damage that has been caused by the storm. And the dirt that's on these cars actually was, they said it was a dust storm that actually derived in Texas and blew up here in advance and was in the atmosphere. And then the snow came down, snow and ice and so forth, and it left a mess. Now, the winds in my area here were in the 80 plus mile an hour, and you can see the size of that tree across the street. It's gone, and those trees are gone. Lots of cleanup that needs to take place. A lot of people out doing that. My trees in my yard are young enough that they didn't sustain any damage, but I did lose my antenna off the top of my house. It had taken some 70, 80 mile an hour winds before, but so far I don't see really any significant damage on my property. So chainsaws have been going the last couple of days, and I've got debris in my yard from the big tree that was across the street. So I'm sure I'm going to have to. I have a battery, or not a battery operated chainsaw. I have a electric powered chainsaw that really isn't that great. It's just great for trimming things. But I'm probably going to have to go and get me a chainsaw and start cutting some of mine. There was a car damaged across the street. My neighbor across the street, it looks like a tree branch fell on the car, and they just bought the car about a month and a half ago. And it's sad because, you know, the luck they're having, and I'm sure since they probably paid cash for it, you know, cheap cars, they didn't have insurance on, or at least comprehensive or full coverage insurance on it. So who's to say what they're, you know, if they're going to come out of it all right. But here's what I'm going to do. I want to get in. I want to start this car, see if it starts. 4 days later, 3 days later, 4 days after I started it, and see if it actually starts and runs. And I haven't even attempted this myself. So, you know, before this video. So let's see what happens. Well, there we go. It starts, and before the gas gauge was showing just under a half. Now it's just above a quarter. So, you know, somewhere along the way it's pressurized. The SRS light is on, but let's let it warm up a bit here. Okay, I don't have my foot on the accelerator, so it's idling a little low. So there could be a fuel to air mixture issue, but it's pretty smooth. It still has that, there's a little clatter in there, but not like it was that one time when it sounded like it was misfiring. So now we rev it up. Stumbles a little bit at 2,000 RPM. When you get over 2,000, it is really starting to stumble. Well, we're at 2,300, and it's stumbling. So we still have a fuel delivery issue. I'm not sure where. Now the fuel gauge has dropped to a quarter, and it's continuing to drop. And it's just, it's dropping consistently. And I had put 5 gallons in it, but yep, get to 2,600 RPM and she stumbles. Fuel gauge is now down just under a quarter. So the 5 gallons I put in, that was probably, the tank was probably empty. Let's see what happens when I put it into gear. And now I'm down to about 1/8 of a tank. Well, she moves. Not sure if it's worthy of taking around the block yet, but I may do that a little bit later. But stumbling a little bit. That's 2,000 RPM. And down just slightly under a quarter tank. So I'm losing fuel someplace. I don't know where. Or the fuel sending unit is not functioning correctly. Hard to say. You know, at this point, I'm not sure. But I'm going to let it sit here and run for a little bit. You know, just to get it up to operating temperature, just to see. Because if you remember, this car, when it gets up to operating temperature, it really stumbles. So let's see what happens when it warms up. So while it's doing that, let me roll the window down so I don't get locked out, because I only have one key. And since it's warm enough out here, I tell you what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to work on this beast today and tomorrow. I am going to I'm going to have to go back down to Baton Rouge to get my wife at the end of next week, so there may not be another video. My father-in-law has decided that he is going to he's going to let me work on trying to sell his 190E, and we're probably going to take that to Gateway Classics in Kansas City and drop it there and let them sell it. So more to come on that, and I'll, once it's there, then I'll put the link down there if anybody would like to, entertain in purchasing that. But I'm going to finish this door, finish this side. I got to finish the other side. I've got to take the tape off of the chrome piece that's here and take that all off so I can get into there so I can paint that and check all the other taping in there. And then maybe if I get all that done, maybe I will finish shooting this in the primer sealer, although the temperature is only supposed to be in the 60s. And if I warm it up in here enough, I think it will lay down pretty good. And then I'll work a little bit on the front, the spoiler. I'm getting kind of bored with it, but I need to finish this and finish this side so then I can get that on the white primer sealer. Now, I've been told, and I would like comments down below, that I've been told that you really should be doing this all in one shot. Primer sealer, color, and then clear with tacking in between, However, I have found some YouTube videos out there where you put the primer sealer down, then you come back with 400, 400 or 600, do either a wet or dry sand, tack it off, clean it off, get it ready. Then you can shoot your color and then go back and do your clear the same day. So I'd like y'all's comments. If I could do that, that's what I want to do, because I really don't want to re-primer this, because we've gone to the work of doing that, and it should take color now, just with a nice light 400 grit sand to get it smooth. I've done it that way before, and I've never had any problem because the car has not been exposed to the elements. So put your comments down below. Can I do that? Let me know if I can do that. So sounds like the what we call the shaggin' wagon is really smoothed out and warming up. I'm going to position the camera so that we can see down the alley. I'm going to back it up, drive down, back up, and come back and put it in this parking spot just to see how well this works. You may not have my mic, so I won't talk once I'm driving, but we're up to, we're about halfway up to operating temperature. Let's see what she does. No. Yeah, it still stumbles under load. So it's probably not worthy of running around the block yet. So, yeah, see, when I put it in forward, in drive, then she really stumbles. Reverse, it didn't as bad, but drive, it does. So, stumbling under load. I'm going to see if my wipers and windshield washer works so I can get some of this crap off the windshield. Oh, this one, the washers work. That makes a nice a lot cleaner windshield there. So I think, since I've got to I need to liquidate some vehicles at some point. I may just sell it as is. So put your comments down below on that. I'm not going to give the car away, but it's, $3,200 probably ought to buy it. And, it shouldn't, I would say at this point, since I've replaced about everything that's possible on there, it's probably just an adjustment, but I don't know at this this point, but it's just got me baffled. So put your comments down below to see what you think. I'm kind of back to where I was, stumbling, once it gets up to operating temperature. Because, it's one of those things that I really need to reduce some of my inventory so that I've got, I can focus on the both of the 1972s, because that seems to be where the ones that I want to put my time and effort into. And probably because, I'm paying insurance on all of these, with the exception of the 272s, which that's for another video, because I want to talk to everyone about insuring, cars that you don't drive, and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Hope you enjoy this video. Share it with your friends. Hit like. All those good things. Thank you to now at 1,400 subscribers, and continuing to grow. Keep watching my videos. Please watch them in at least most of their entirety of the videos, and comment below so I can get into the better of those algorithms. Have a great day.